She's dead. Wrapped in plastic.
Welcome to the Twin Peaks podcast.
Damn good coffee. And hot. Would everyone please take a seat?
Welcome everyone to the Twin Peaks podcast. This is our retrospective episode. I'm Matt.
I'm Melanie.
I'm Brad.
I'm Caitlin.
I'm Michael.
Hey Michael.
Hey.
Hey Michael.
Ooh, yeah.
Third time?
Yes.
Third time. Cool. Michael gave up the movie episode for this one. He switched with Claire so he could talk about everything.
Yep, I want to talk about everything as a whole.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe we'll just, if you guys want to bring up anything at any time, go ahead, but I've also got some questions.
Anything goes.
Anything goes.
Ow!
So we'll just talk about the show in general and including the movie.
Did you really say please get very nerdy?
No? Where does it say that?
Right there at the bottom.
Oh, that's somebody else's words.
Oh.
Somebody says, please get very nerdy
Oh,
and
okay.
talk up every theory ever possible.
No. It's too many.
I'm so ready to hear other people's nerd thoughts instead of my own.
Now that we can provide.
Yeah, there should be some of those. Let's see. What's a good question to start with? First of all, did the show, I guess this would mostly be for Caitlin and Brad, did the show live up to or surpass your expectations, or did you have expectations?
I didn't have any expectations.
No.
Very, very, very much.
Okay.
But I was left having a satisfied feeling at the end of the show because it delivered something that was great. A good story. A good story. It was unusual and unique. And I hate watching mainstream TV shows that are just all.
Like cop and lawyer and doctor shows?
Yeah, that are like shows like that, but are just more about the relationships than the actual show. Where this is like a deep, darker show.
Mm-hmm. So you like a good story, and world instead of
Something that makes you think a little, yeah, and a good story, a little off the beaten path.
You're not that into shows that are just about regular people's regular lives.
No, not so much.
Okay.
The Adventures of Harry. He's a man that goes to work every morning and then comes home. Hi, I'm Harry.
Did you have any expectations, Brad?
I'm sure I did, but I don't remember what they were at this point.
It's been a while.
Yeah, but I think, especially doing the podcast and having to go everything in such minute detail, I feel like any expectations I might have had were much surpassed because I had a good time overall.
Okay, that's good. Michael, I can't remember, when did you first watch it?
I first watched it back in 2000, I think the tail end of 2001 and the beginning of 2002.
Okay, so you would have heard of it before then, right? And did you have any expectations of it?
Well, I was a fan of David Lynch's films, the ones that I had seen at least up until that point. I only saw a few, like Elephant Man and Dune, and I was interested in finding out more about his other work, and I did see that he made a show called Twin Peaks, and I checked out TVGuide.com to see if any of David Lynch's stuff would be playing soon, and I saw Fire Walk With Me come up on the listings.
Mm-hmm.
It was playing on the Independent Film Channel on cable, and I flipped it on, and I was kind of unprepared. I hadn't seen any of David Lynch's more, I would say, bizarre films, and so when I encountered that one, it was a little bit, I was taken off guard, but I was really impressed with just the strength and power of it, how cinematic it was, and I really felt for Laura Palmer and what she was going through, and it inspired me to go and find Twin Peaks and watch it on home video, and I started getting my friends and family into it too as often as I could.
So do you think you were ruined in any way about how you knew the killer was?
I mean, it is a huge spoiler,
Yeah.
to know going in, and it's one that I held back from like people I would show the series to, so I never really showed them Fire Walk with Me first. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure how I would have reacted not knowing beforehand, but I kind of think it probably isn't. It's probably less than ideal the way that I found out who killed Laura Palmer, but I have to say it didn't diminish my appreciation for the show at all. If anything, I found it really still just as entertaining as I think I would have ever done it.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts on that, Mel, at all?
What my expectations were?
Yeah.
No.
No? You hadn't heard about the show, like...
Well, I
Before you'd
had,
seen
but
it?
just passingly, right?
Yeah.
You hear about stuff like that.
Okay, so you didn't get yourself hyped up before you saw it, and...
No, I'd rather go into things with very little expectation, anyways, because then you always end up being pleasantly surprised, usually, or incredibly disappointed. But
Yeah.
And also, most things are terrible.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Some people like to, when they know something's coming out and they're excited for it, usually they'll like oversaturate themselves with information about it. But sometimes I just like to leave it and just wait till it comes out and watch it then, and just kind of, you have a fresh mind then, and you can kind of get your own thoughts instead of other people's thoughts on it, I guess. So.
Right.
Yeah, it totally blew me away. Like I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was, and it's really, I think, my favorite film and TV series combination. It's my favorite of almost like anything. The Twin Peaks experience as a whole. It's just completely original, and I don't know. I just am really drawn to these characters. I really care about like all the central tenets, and even at some of its weaker moments later on in the series, I was still entertained throughout it, and it picked up really well again at the end. And yeah, to me, it totally surpassed any expectations I would have had for a TV show and a movie based off of a TV show.
Yeah, so about those weaker moments, like, what are your guys' thoughts on the second season? And like,
They were weak. The weaker moments were weak. Those are my thoughts.
Elaborate on that, Brad.
Well, see, some moments were stronger and other moments were weaker. I feel the weaker ones were less strong and more weak than the stronger ones. But that's just my opinion.
But you couldn't say where exactly it went off the rails or why.
Oh, well, I mean, it went off the rails when we spent that time with Cooper. Like, he's kicked off the force because he got... the whole frame job. Like, really? We're gonna deal with Cooper off the force? Trying to solve mysteries by himself?
And Plaid.
Now Cooper is a
Bugs
Twin Peaks
Bunny?
deputy.
Yeah. Oh, it was rough. It was rough.
And Evelyn Marsh and...
Oh, no, that didn't happen. That never happened.
Who?
I don't think I'd be able to sit through that again when I'm watching it.
So would you be... A lot of people actually do skip certain scenes or an entire run of 6 episodes. Do you think you would be that kind of person if you're rewatching it, Caitlin?
I would attempt to rewatch it, but don't think I would make it through.
I don't know.
General Robert E. Horn didn't
Just skip to the
totally draw
Nadine
you in.
sections, because that was golden.
I don't know, I kind of gained a new appreciation. When you look at it kind of like when you're watching a B movie and you can kind of laugh at it, it's much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You never want to see Exposition Malcolm again?
Oh, Exposition Malcolm.
I kind of enjoyed him.
I think
The second time around,
I think that was
kind
his
of
name.
funny.
That was definitely his name.
I did a breakdown of how much of Twin Peaks is bad versus how much of it is good, and how much of it is like the best TV ever.
Okay.
And I came down with this statistical breakdown. Of the 32 TV hours, so that's like excluding commercial, I mean that's with commercial breaks, but which we don't have to experience now. But there's 32 hours of the entire show that broadcast. The 20 hours revolving around the Laura Palmer story arc, best TV ever. That's 62.5%. Then the pretty bad stuff, with Evelyn Marsh, Denise Bryson, which was kind of a fun part of that arc. But General Robert E. Horn, that was about 6 hours altogether, 18.75%. And then the Wyndham Earle story arc was another 6 hours, and that was 18.75%. So really, it's less than like 1/5 of the show. Was pretty bad, but there was still some good stuff throughout that. You know, the Fox Mulder, you know, drag stuff was hilarious, and there's actually some really good parts during that. But yeah, it's just so bad. Evelyn Marsh and Benjamin Horne's nervous breakdown in the Civil War.
Oh, I completely forgot about that for some reason. You brought it back. No.
I don't know. It went off the rails right there, but the Wyndham Earle stuff that came later was strong. It was good television again. After that, it was pretty solid. It wasn't quite the same as it was during the Laura Palmer, storyline, but it's still a very satisfying journey, and it's probably the most satisfying TV show I've ever watched.
Okay.
Where I got the most out of it.
Caitlin and Brad, what did you think of Wyndham Earle? Because I know at certain times we liked him, and at certain times he was disappointing us. Where'd you come out like in the end on him?
I think I can. Well, again, I blame Keaton. Because it could have been good. It could have been good, but it wasn't. He wasn't.
So overall, you give him a thumbs down.
I give him a thumbs. I give the poor actor that was stuck with the direction Keaton gave him and followed through with it. I give him a thumbs down. I don't blame him necessarily, but yeah, it just didn't. It could have worked on paper. It works,
yeah,
but it didn't work.
Overall, I think I liked him. When he wasn't comic, he was like terrifying. So there came a point, I think, in the second season when every time they brought in a new character, I kind of like groaned, just because it seemed like they're introducing a new character just to shake things up, because it was getting really boring with all the story plots. And I think I thought that about him initially, but overall, I liked his character and how they sort of were continuing along the supernatural theme of some of the show with him, and that I didn't expect him to be involved with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that they got Wyndham Earle involved with the Black Lodge storyline. Like, I'm glad they weren't two separate storylines. What do you think of him, Mel?
The same as everybody else, I guess. Just sometimes you like him,
kind of
sometimes
like him.
Yeah, you kind of like him, but you kind of don't. And the bad moments are pretty bad, and the good moments are pretty good.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of wasted potential.
Yeah.
The good moments being the horse costume.
Yeah.
I really like the log lady costume
one,
too.
yeah.
Where would you guys? I'll save that one for later, actually.
Where would you guys go if you had $1 million and you could go on vacation anywhere in the world? That's the question.
Yes.
To Washington.
Go to Everett. Snoqualmie Falls.
I would go to bed.
And lay on top of your $1 million.
I would just take a little napsy.
You know what? That might be the only way you can get to sleep, Brad, is if you had $1 million in your mattress.
Oh, I would sleep so good.
Have you noticed any TV shows like that came later that were clearly influenced by it, or / how do you think the show affected television afterwards?
It's really hard for me to notice what TV shows may have been influenced by Twin Peaks, because I didn't watch Twin Peaks till after I watched a lot of these shows, and I haven't really watched new shows since watching Twin Peaks. And so it's really hard to do that in retrospect. Like, now, maybe perhaps on rewatching other old shows, I could be able to see it.
Michael, you must have a thought on that one.
Oh, definitely. Babylon 5 came out pretty soon after Twin Peaks, and the creator, Joseph Michael Straczynski, he made it clear that he was very much influenced by Twin Peaks on a lot of what he did, making it a very highly serialized story, emphasizing certain dream sequences and kind of having different mysteries and stuff layered over each other, and kind of that exploration. Carnival was also, Daniel Knopf definitely makes heavy allusion to Twin Peaks throughout that. People probably wouldn't recognize this, but I think Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel.
In what way?
One, it's a very serialized story kind of revolving around teenage angst and against this kind of supernatural evil that these people are fighting, about them kind of forming a community and their friendships and their kind of small quirks that kind of set these characters apart, and their heroism and their tragedies along the way. I think Buffy is definitely influenced a lot by Twin Peaks, and I haven't heard Joss Whedon say that before, but that's just something I see in the shows and the tone.
I'd actually be interested to hear somebody ask him if he's a Twin Peaks fan.
Yeah, me too. The Sopranos, again, the creator of that, David Chase, he made it clear that he was influenced by Twin Peaks, especially for some of his like dream sequences and things. And Mad Men, Breaking Bad, yeah, I think these shows definitely take a lot from them, kind of emphasizing interesting character details and spending a lot of time with that rather than just moving the story forward like so many shows are obsessed with doing. I think as a whole, David Lynch and Mark Frost helped to knock down a lot of creative walls and barriers that kind of helped TV programming learn to get out of its formulaic ruts and inject a little bit of cinematic power back, into the small screen. Because not until Twin Peaks do we start getting mind-bending surrealism and these really intelligently complex serialized stories tightly structured over dozens of episodes like Lost.
Yeah.
I think that Twin Peaks really made that a greater possibility and opened a lot of people's eyes to what's possible on the TV format. And I do see it as a very revolutionary TV program, probably the most revolutionary for this generation.
That is pretty true. It's a very cinematic television show. I'm trying to think of a show before that you could just see as a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it comes from David Lynch being film director, so...
And you know what, The Prisoner, even though that came that came before, so if anything, I think The Prisoner may have been kind of influential in Twin Peaks later on. But that was a TV show that it is very surreal and cinematic, and it's only 17 episodes long too, so I'd recommend that to any TV buffs that want something kind of like Twin Peaks.
I've seen one episode of that show. And it was like some episode where there was like some sort of sports game involving trampolines. I don't know.
You sure that wasn't an episode of Community? No.
What are some of your guys' favorite or least favorite storylines or / characters? You want to go, Mel?
Large question.
It is a large question. You don't have to...
I wasn't even listening. I should probably stop reading pies.
Well, there's one thing I could comment. I never really thought about it too much until recently when I watched the Northwest Passage fan edit of Twin Peaks. And it focuses on the main storylines and some of the main characters, and it excludes pretty much anything that the editor thought was kind of ancillary.
Yeah.
And I really didn't like it that much. I mean, I thought it was an interesting job. He did a good job editing, but really the flavor of the show is all of these different people's storylines, even these little small people that maybe you don't think that much of on first watch, like maybe Deputy Andy or Lucy may not seem that important to you, but yeah, like Audrey's character was reduced to a cameo, and I'm like, oh, that's not Twin Peaks anymore,
Yeah, I've heard that from more than one person that they're very excited to watch Northwest Passage because it's just what you would assume is the good stuff, the Laura Palmer journey, and then they watch it and they're like, yeah, I didn't really like it, and it's probably has to do with the feel of the show, has to do with
all the Dale Cooper scenes. There's so many Dale Cooper scenes if you just watch that.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
You're gonna skip the Dale Cooper scenes. Watch it.
That's gonna be my edit. The more fun edit.
It's gonna be focused on Bob.
It's just the Nadine and Bob scenes.
Yeah.
Yes. And Hawk.
And Hawk, yes.
And Dick Tremaine.
Oh yeah. Okay, so those are your favorite characters.
That was easy.
That was easy.
I was surprised. Even Pete Martell and different people that are kind of on the sidelines a lot of the time, if you cut them out entirely, just so much of the charm of the show is missing. This enchanting quality that draws you in. Because it's the small town that really is the main character of the show. And so if you chop off parts of the main character, it just doesn't feel right anymore.
Yeah, that's true. The town is a character in itself. What's some of your favorite or least favorite storylines and characters, Caitlin? It is a big question, so talk about whatever you want.
Alright, I'm just going to go through my characters as I think of them first.
Okay.
Big fan of the Martells, both Catherine and Pete.
Mm-hmm.
They add a lot of the wit to the story. I think they're very smart characters, and Pete is just like very likable. And I like Audrey a lot. I think she's one of my favorite female characters in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
And let's see, Creamed Corn Boy. He was just so random and bizarre. not a big fan of Harry, not at all. Nope. Or Josie.
Ugh.
I'm sure you know that Josie's my least favorite character.
Yeah,
And I thought Ben Horn was a cool guy.
most of the time.
Yeah, well, he wasn't nice, but like his character was very dynamic.
Did you even like him when he was the general?
I don't think I disliked him. He just had gone off the deep end. I don't think I like or disliked him at that point.
What do you like the best?
We already went through this.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah.
Can we just pull up a list of characters and vote yay or nay?
We can if you want.
I just feel like I'd be rehashing things that I talked about during previous episodes. So
Let's get a big list and just read through them.
Okay.
Yay or nay?
Okay.
Vote.
Supernatural, Mike.
Okay, here we go. Dale Cooper.
yay.
Yay.
Nay.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay!
Albert.
Okay.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay!
Yay. Did everyone yay that one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yay.
He's in.
Chester Desmond. Yay.
Yay.
Hey.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
On his name alone.
If he was allowed to swoon some, with music and song, I think it would have been better, but oh well. There's only so much time in the movie.
Sam Stanley.
Yay.
Yay.
Ugh.
I barely remember Stan Stanley.
It's, Kiefer.
Jack Bauer. Kiefer Sutherland's character.
Yeah. Not enough of an impression.
Philip Jeffries is probably not an impression there either.
Well, how can you not like Bowie though?
He's
Yeah.
I love David Bowie.
Super yay.
okay. Gordon Cole.
Yay.
You
Yeah.
skipped
Yeah.
Roger Hardy.
Why would I?
Matt, are
why
you
would I
racist?
list Roger Hardy?
The Roger Hardy?
Is he the guy from the FBI that kicks Agent Cooper off the force?
The only character moment we got with him was him enjoying some pie.
But you're racist. It's like the
Not-
only black
Oh, he likes pie? Yay.
besides the coach.
And he was from the Mod Squad with Peggy Lipton, who played Norma Jennings on the show.
Mm.
So when he was in the cafe, that was like the reunion of the Mod Squad.
We've spent more time on Roger Hardy than the other ones now.
Sorry.
Gordon Cole.
Yay.
Yay.
Hey. Brad.
Still in the middle.
Still in
Still in the middle.
Denise Bryson.
Yay.
Yay, big
Yay.
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 Boulder and Drag is hilarious.
Truman.
Nah.
Boo.
Yeah.
Alright, we're all agreed on that one. Andy.
Yay.
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 I'm gonna say yay 80% of the time. Deputy Hawk.
Thumbs up.
Yay.
Yay.
Yes.
The man. Super yay.
Lucy.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah?
Mm.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm very conflicted on her usually.
I love when they put Cappy on there.
I'm pro Lucy.
Cappy. They
Cappy.
even put Cappy.
Young male assistant at the police
We don't
station.
need Cappy.
David Lynch's assistant in real life.
Laura,
It's cool.
Laura Palmer.
Yay.
Yay. Leland.
Yay.
Yay.
The best.
It's freaking awesome.
Sarah.
Yeah, I liked her.
But she didn't do anything besides cry, really.
Yeah, but that gave the show a morning tone.
It was nice to have somebody who cared a lot about Laura that wasn't crazy and insane, totally. Yeah.
But it would have been nice if they had done something with her later on.
Yeah, she was kind of forgotten about.
Yeah.
It's true. But yay.
Especially since she's psychic. Like, they could have explored that.
I guess David Lynch started to do that again in the series finale when she's like the voice of Wyndham Earl to Major Briggs in the diner.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of like a megaphone for him. So it looks like they're trying to bring her around.
Personally, I still like the version of Sarah Palmer that's just forgetful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There was the killer in the room, I forgot. Maddie.
Yay.
Yeah.
I liked her.
I was okay with
Nay.
it. Why nay?
It was, I don't know, I just found her a little boring, and she just perpetrated more angst and awkward James and Donna nonsense.
I think she was a lot more normal than them.
Yeah, I don't know why she kept getting drawn into their shenanigans.
But she was finally mature enough just to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then she died.
Oh.
Doc Hayward.
You know,
Yay.
I like Doc. I don't know.
Yeah,
too.
he gets a thumbs up. Double.
Okay, yeah, me too.
He's a classic.
I don't know if we should mention Eileen.
Why not?
Too much.
She didn't do much.
No, but she had some moments that kind of helped draw Donna out and get her to open up about stuff going on with Laura. And
It's true.
She,
I like Zoe and Emily Deschanel's mom, so come on, yay.
okay.
It's true. Points for having good daughters.
Having awesome kids.
Even though it relates nothing at all to the character.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
I'm gonna say nay just for the Ben Horn romance subplot with her. I don't like that. I don't like Donna suddenly, being revealed as Ben's daughter. It just seemed shoehorned in. I don't know.
I don't know. 1976 was a bicentennial year. It was crazy times, my friend.
Donna.
You know what?
No.
You know what? She had her pretty bad moments, but I don't know.
What were
She
her
had
good
some
moments?
She had some good moments in the very first episode.
She was okay in the first episode.
I didn't
up
like
until
her.
the last scene in the woods.
She's okay in the first episode, and when she's played by a different person in the movie. But overall, nay.
We'll
I was okay for a good chunk of the first season.
No,
Yeah.
don't skip Harriet.
skip Harriet and Gersten.
Those poor kids.
Yeah, I know.
I loved them. I love Gersten's piano playing.
Seriously, I give them a yay for desperately trying to entertain their way out of their dungeon lair.
I like them.
Ben Horn. Big thumbs up for me.
Yay.
I like
Yeah.
him. And Jerry Horn.
Jerry Horn,
He's
again,
pretty good
thumbs
too.
up.
Yep.
Yes.
Even though they messed over his character in the last half of the show, they were awesome.
Yeah.
How-
Good moments were good.
How do you think they messed him up?
For one thing, Jerry is pretty much gone after the Civil War storyline, so you don't ever really see him, and he only pops up briefly for a cameo during that. And Ben Horn, I mean, we have him as a Civil War general breakdown, and then we have him kind of as Billy Zane's lackey for a while. And I don't know, it just seemed like Ben Horn, they were writing him all over the place. His story arc didn't seem as coherent as a lot of the other characters' arcs.
Okay.
Sylvia, I love the description for Sylvia
Yeah,
Horn.
maybe-
Ben's constantly angry wife.
Yeah. We should read the descriptions with all the characters from that one.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
I
imagine
imagine like action figure packaging
Yeah.
with kung fu grip and constantly angry.
I have nothing about Sylvia. She's like a non-character.
Yeah, she didn't. She was. I don't even believe she was actually in the show. It was a figment of our imagination.
She shows up at times to increase the emotional distress of Audrey, but that's
Nope.
pretty much.
Not in the show.
Yeah.
That was just an extra.
Audrey Horn, Ben's sultry teenage daughter.
Sounds disturbing. I say it like that.
That's what's written.
Audrey
Definitely.
could be my favorite character for the show.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
her.
She's up there in the top 5 at least.
Johnny Horn, anyone?
Nay.
Nick,
Yay!
Johnny's awesome.
you don't like him, Brad? There's
They didn't do anything with him.
again, I think
So-
another wasted opportunity there.
I think his storyline was actually the one that they gave Benjamin Horn, where he was like finding a catharsis and he had to play act his way out. I think that was actually supposed to be Johnny Horn's storyline, but they like wanted to give Ben something to do, and so they like transferred the storyline over to him.
Hmm.
But I think Johnny was supposed to come out as a normal character after he went through got over his nervous breakdown.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome. Yes.
Yep.
They should have. Oh, they should have totally done that.
Yep.
Josie.
Ugh.
No.
Is she the
Never.
worst character on the show? Maybe not as bad as Evelyn Marsh, but as a main character, she might be the worst main one.
I would agree with that. Well, and actually, Donna.
She was the most disappointing. Josie, I found she was the most disappointing character.
Yeah, it's true. I was the most disappointed by
her
how
progress.
where she went.
Yeah.
In her. Yeah.
It's true. Maid Josie was one of the all-time lows of the show.
Best death though. Come on.
Death by doorknob or doorknob.
Drawer pull.
Terrible.
Very important.
Andrew Packard.
I liked him.
Yay.
Yeah, he was a classic, fun touch.
It's yay or nay.
Yay!
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes. Yay. Yeah, I liked how happy-go-lucky he usually was.
He was a fun, like, companion to Pete, and their fun hijinks together.
Mhm.
including getting blown up at the end.
Catherine.
They didn't say.
Yay.
Yeah.
Why didn't they say Catherine / Mr. Tojimura?
Oh.
Spoilers.
They're both pretty awesome.
I give a yay to both.
I'm gonna say yay, yes. Pete Martell.
Unless you make me look at her feet.
Yeah.
And
Ah.
Okay, Pete Martell.
That's a double yay.
Yay, yay.
Yeah. Never mind, that didn't come out right.
Yippee-ki-yay.
How could you have Twin Peaks without Pete, man? Doesn't work.
Yeah, we get to see him within the first couple minutes, yeah. And he kind of sets the tone a little bit. Garland Briggs.
Yay.
Becomes a yay for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yay.
yay at
Yay.
first, but he became a yay.
Yeah, you didn't like him at first?
Well, I don't know. He seemed kind of an odd character, but then he kind of grows on you.
Mm-hmm.
at first he was just like a disconnected father,
Yeah.
but then became sort of involved with the actual plot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, of all the kind of minor characters that came up to greater prominence later in the series, I thought his arc was probably the best.
Yeah. I would have been very interested to see where they took him in season 3 if
True.
got to.
Personally, I think he would go rescue Agent Cooper out of the Black Lodge.
He would be the one, not Hawk?
I don't know, maybe Hawk would help him out, but
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome? Hawk and Briggs
I thought
in
we
there,
talked
like,
about this before, that they would be like Team Awesome.
I don't know if I ever paired them together.
No,
a buddy cop movie. I like it.
I thought we had if we were putting together like this, or Brad put it.
My mystery solving team.
Yeah, the mystery solving team. Thank you.
I know, but I'm thinking specifically if they had a season 3 and if Briggs and Hawk went in to get together to save Cooper in the Black Lodge, that would have been awesome.
Yep.
True that.
Betty Briggs, another kind of a non-character.
Nobody likes the wives.
I like her. She was from Eraserhead, and
yeah.
she played Pete's wife back in Eraserhead. So I think she was at least kind of cute, and it was really funny her smiley face button and stuff going to the funeral and trying to be supportive of Bobby and stuff with the fights between Major Briggs. And I thought she was a kind of cute, fun character, but yeah, she wasn't in it very much.
Nay.
But yeah,
Bobby.
Yay.
yeah.
Yay.
Yay. For industriousness.
Ed Hurley.
I'd say yay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say yay for character, nay for storyline.
true.
I'm on the fence. I'll say yay.
Nadine.
Come on.
Yeah. Yay.
How can you even ask that question?
I think I came around during the course of the podcast. I think she's a yay now for me.
Your cold heart was melted.
Nadine is a very big yay for me.
James Boo.
Boo!
Oh wait, one more thing about Nadine. I just posted up a photo that was posted up in the Twin Peaks podcast group. I posted it on 35 Years of David Lynch. Somebody had posted it in your group, and it was the thing from the Avengers where Loki is saying, "I have an army,"
Oh yeah.
and Robert Downey Jr. saying, "We have a Hulk," and down below it says, "We have a Nadine."
Yeah.
For Twin Peaks. It's awesome.
Norma.
I'd say yay.
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 I don't know.
You don't know if you like her?
I like her, but again, her storyline was not that great. I don't know.
Just pick.
I
Just
like Norma more than Ed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
yeah.
She did it. Yeah, that's true. She did a
She had
little
more
bit.
balls
She
than
had a
Ed.
little bit more going on than Ed. Yeah. Hank.
I would have said yay for early Hank, and then when Hank is beaten up by Nadine, probably not as big of a yay.
Yeah, he
I
had
had such high hopes.
potential.
Yeah, I know.
I'll say there's potential for a yay, but in reality, it was very much on the line.
Yeah, when I heard what Brad was saying in some of the early podcasts, I thought, he would have been a much more interesting villain than Wyndham Earle later on in the series. Hank Jennings, if they had done more with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, could have been. Annie Blackburn, ex-nun with a troubled past.
Nay!
Nay.
Nay. Leo Johnson.
Oh, that's a tough one.
That is very tough because I really liked him at first.
Even Frank and Leo was pretty good. I would say yay.
Even at his worst, he was always at least entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
So you liked him, Caitlin?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I think you started out not liking him.
Yeah. Well, he's like. It's okay. At this point, I'm sort of evaluating how good the character was, and not whether I liked them as
as
the one they did.
as a person.
I wouldn't want to go ahead and have a drink with him. But...
Yeah. Okay, so I must just be thinking of when you were talking about how he's a horrible person.
Well,
Yes.
he is, yes, but
He is a horrible person.
Shep.
Deserved the wheelchair. Anyway.
Wait, do any of you watch Game of Thrones, by the way?
Saw the
Yeah.
first season.
Yeah, because the Dothraki leader, Khal Drogo,
Mhm.
I thought his storyline kind of ended in a very Leo Johnson-esque way, where
That's true.
he's basically paralyzed. Can't do anything. Just a vegetable for a while.
Far better looking than Leo, though. Jason Momoa. Oh. Anyways, continue.
Did you watch him in Conan the Barbarian?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
No.
He was also in Stargate Atlantis, though.
Shelley Johnson.
yay.
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 Yep.
Action Almec is awesome.
Jacques Renault.
No.
Yay.
Yay.
I don't know, I like them. Yeah, yay.
Maybe. Baby, maybe. Yeah. He has like the most lyrical character in the show. It's kind of cool.
Claire just sent me a message. I'm listening to the theme music of Neon Genesis Evangelion at the train station and trying not to dance. Next message. Sorry, Matt. I meant to send that to someone else.
Oh.
There's nothing wrong with dancing, Claire. Where are we?
Bernard Renault.
Bernard, the non-character.
Yeah.
Horrible accent. I'm gonna say nay.
And buried in the woods with Leo and Ben watching.
Nay, he's taken out of the show.
Yeah,
I like to imagine the people that we say nay on, they get cut out.
they get thrown into the Black Lodge or something. Or yeah, somebody should after we're done this, somebody should take the whole series and cut out every scene with the character we made. Yeah, and then see what the show's like. Jean Reno.
Yay.
Yay. Michael Parks is a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
Nay.
Yeah. Hey.
I'm in the middle. So we got
He was terrible.
It was great.
When?
When he was pretty badass.
Yeah, and
When was that?
Oh,
before the Laura Palmer storyline was resolved.
I thought he was pretty badass. I liked him.
Blackie.
Nay.
Yay.
Yay.
He was awesome.
She was
Did some gumption.
interesting. I didn't like how they threw her away.
True.
Nancy, punched out of the show, Nancy.
Just because of that, I give her a yay.
I'm gonna say nay.
Nay.
Indifferent.
Ronette,
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
sure. There's not much there again
No.
for me.
So creepy in that first episode.
Yeah, creepy, yes, but
Oh.
Jacoby,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yay.
yeah. Mike Nelson,
The quarterback Mike or
Yeah.
the football team.
quarterback Mike.
He had his
Yeah.
he had his moments, but nah.
Nay at first, yay later.
Super yay when we get to the Nadine stuff.
Yeah,
It's true.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Margaret Lanterman, aka the Log Lady.
Yeah.
Her last
Yay.
name Lanterman.
Yay.
Yay.
A big yay.
Harold Smith.
Agoraphobic horticulturist. Laura's Meals on Wheels friend.
I would say yay, especially for his Fire Walk with Me stuff. I mean, it was a really brief
You're wrong.
scene. I like
You're
him.
just wrong.
I like him. He's a funny little crazy dude.
Why didn't you like him, Brad?
He didn't do anything. He was completely useless and terrible.
Mm.
Do you remember the rake scene?
I didn't like how mopey he was. Yeah.
They didn't really go anywhere with it. I think he would have been a cool main character on the show if they'd not had him commit suicide randomly.
Mm. There was potential, I think, but
Yeah.
I don't know if we need to mention Amory Battis. Even though I just did, I'm just gonna skip over him. Dick Tremaine.
Yay.
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 I'd say yay for him in the early series, in the early seasons, and nay in the later stuff.
What did? What
I thought the show was just going a little bit too over the top, spending a little bit too much time with him later.
It should always be over the top.
Yeah, he is quite an over-the-top character, but I'm just not a huge fan of him. It's a little too much for me.
So he's an A for you?
Yeah.
Okay. The elderly room service waiter.
Yay!
Senior
Yay.
Jewel Cup, yeah.
Yay.
Oh, yay.
Stole the show, pretty much.
Yeah. I've heard about you. Roadhouse singer, aka Julie Cruz. She's not a character.
She's not a character, no. Well, she is, but...
Nice voice. Next. Mayor Dwayne Milford.
Yay.
I like him.
Yay.
Yeah.
I like him, but I don't know. I'm going to go nay just because I didn't really want to know that much about his sex life later on.
Yeah, that was kind of gross. Dougie Milford, his brother.
Also, yay.
Yeah, I like them fighting. Lana.
The witch. Witch!
I'm gonna say nay.
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 Yeah.
She was one step too far.
Now we're up to the category called Outsiders.
Yes, awesome. Okay, this is gonna be fun.
Evelyn Marsh.
Nay.
Wait, so hold on. Before in this category, anyone we vote nay on is burnt at the stake.
Oh gosh. Evelyn Marsh.
Nay.
Hey. Thomas Eckhart. Nay.
Yeah, David
Yay.
Warner at least had
I
some
like.
fun.
Yeah, I like David Warner,
Yeah,
but I don't
yay.
like that character.
There's nothing really to do with it. I mean, he didn't do anything really.
Into the fire with you, Thomas Eckhart.
Except get shot by another one of our nay characters, Josie.
Yeah. Jones. Thomas Eckhart's assistant.
Oh, the tall lady?
The tall
Yeah,
lady.
I liked her, the South
That's
African
seduced.
assassin.
Oh.
Seduced
yay.
Harry, yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
I
Yay
don't
for
know.
foxiness.
She didn't do anything, though. She failed miserably.
Except for some reason she did sexy assassination of Harry Truman that didn't work out quite right.
No.
Yeah. She could have just killed him, but she had to wake him up and try to sex him and then try to kill him.
That was the worst plan in the world. Seriously. Come on, guys.
Yeah, but still.
But she's hot,
Yeah,
so.
but she's
Yeah.
hot, so you forget.
On a purely sexist point of view, I'm gonna give her a pass.
There you
Agreed.
go. The truth comes out.
But at the same time, she did have sex with Harry Truman, which works against her very much.
Rape him.
She almost raped him.
She
and
almost
and
raped
she
him.
attempted to kill him, which I'm in favor of. But
True. Okay, I think she wins overall. She was really close to the fire.
Yeah. Teresa Banks.
She was kind of useless.
Hmm.
Well,
I'd give her a yay just because I think she had an interesting pull on the story, but she was kind of a weird character. We didn't have much time with her.
Yeah. I liked the investigation of Teresa Banks.
Yeah, me too.
Wyndham Earle.
interesting.
I gotta say nay.
Yay-ish.
Yeah.
I'm a yay nay. There's
I'm
stuff I love
yay.
with them. There's stuff I hate.
I'm a thumb sideways.
I'm a yay. Yeah, thumb side. I'm a yay.
He's gonna have severe burns.
John Justice Wheeler. Into the fire with you.
Nay.
Nay to his character, but it would have been cool to have a good Billy Zane character on Twin Peaks, but just not this dude. He
But
didn't-
unfortunately, that would require Billy Zane to play a good character.
Oh. Who's Judy Swain?
The Molly Shannon. The foster care for aid for orphan child.
We don't need to mention her.
Oh, Molly Shannon.
Well, she.
A walk-on role. She was fun.
Hey, they don't even have Lucy's sister listed, but they have her.
Yeah, they should have had Lucy's sister.
Kathleen Willoy.
Man
I'd
from
say yay to her.
So now we're up to the lodge inhabitants.
Man from Another Place.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Mike.
I think these are all yays.
I think so. Mike.
All these people?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob.
Yay.
Yeah.
Come on, he's the best. Yeah.
Oh, this one could be a nay from Brad. The Giant.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm missing
I'll give a yay to the giant. But again, another nay back to Cooper for trusting him.
I have to agree with you on that, Brad.
I'm doing my damnedest to drag Cooper to this fire.
Miss Tremond.
Yeah.
Yay. Pierre Tremond, this grandson.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minnie Lynch is awesome.
Creepy kid.
As much as I'd like to burn a kid, I'll give him a pass. Because he's creepy.
That's all the characters they had listed.
That is a lot of characters.
That's a lot of characters. All right, so
And we're done.
well, let's just kind of
Yeah.
get into like rating the show. Maybe like where does?
Oh, did we ever mention James? I can't remember.
Yeah, we did.
We didn't burn him at the stake.
We didn't burn him at the stake.
We're burning. We're starting the fire with James.
Yeah.
he's one of the logs.
Kindling.
Yes, he's the fuel for the fire. So where does this show rate against your other top favorite shows, would you guys say? Is it right up there? Is it like in the middle somewhere? Does it not even chart?
Don't even chart.
Slightly above middle.
Above middle? Okay. What are some of your other favorite shows?
My most favoriteest show is Doctor Who.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which version, though? All of them?
Well, the original series is a bit cheesy, so the new series.
Okay.
Is there anything else above it that you can think of?
Yeah, there are.
Yeah. It's not a requirement that this become one of your favorite shows of all time or anything. So.
Yeah, I know.
But
What's
shame
just
on you
below
if
it?
What'd you say?
What's just below it? Glee.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more below.
Ouch, just below. It's slightly better than Glee.
No.
Terrible.
It's a lot better than Glee. Glee is below by half my middle line, and Twin Peaks is above the middle line.
Brad?
This is tough.
Be honest, you won't insult us.
No, it's not that. It's just I think doing the podcast and things has made it a lot more fun than I think if I just watched it straight of my own.
You think you maybe wouldn't have even finished it if you're just watching it on your own?
I would have finished it, but I don't think I would have had as much fun or enjoyed it as much. So I think this has definitely bumped it up for me. You know, I put it in the top quarter, I guess.
Okay. Not too shabby, Mel.
Well, they all know how we feel about it.
I don't know how you feel about it.
You don't?
No. Sounds like you don't either.
I don't either.
I just outed you. You just didn't want to answer the
No,
question.
I like it. It's one of my top shows, I'd say.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm always weird about those kinds of things. I don't like rating stuff that much. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I like, and a lot of things that I don't like. And there's usually not really a clear middle. Sometimes there is.
What are some of your other favorite shows?
I don't know. There's lots of stuff I like.
You're not helping.
No, I know. I don't know. There's too much to name.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say, for me, it's right up there with my favorite shows. I can't say it's my favorite show. I don't know what my favorite show is, but this is tied with like Breaking Bad and Dexter before the past few seasons. I like those two shows a lot, and it's in my top 5 for sure. I'll have to nail down my top 5 someday, but Michael?
Twin Peaks is my number 1 favorite show.
Even with all its flaws?
Yep. I think that the Laura Palmer storyline is the best thing I've seen on television.
Yeah.
Or none. I think my top 10 of other shows, like Breaking Bad, Mad Men, Lost, Buffy, Angel, Firefly, they're all incredible shows too, but there's just something about David Lynch's direction and the power of the storytelling that I just don't see matched in any other show. So I really love what they did with Laura Palmer's storyline.
Yeah.
The show.
I just can't give this my favorite show because it's so... Like, there's other shows that are much more consistent. Like, when this show is bad, it's really bad. There's other shows that never do that, you know? Like, they never take that same dip in quality. Like, this show is excellent when it's good.
Yeah.
How would you put it up against Glee? That's my question.
I've never watched Glee, and I never will.
To me, nothing matches the ecstasy of, like, the happiest, funniest moments of the show, or the agony of the most, sad and tragic moments of the show. I think the most beautiful death, like, ever captured, the most beautiful kind of sequence is when Maddie was killed, and we have the roadhouse with Cooper and just these different moments. I just can't see anyone else topping it, even. Maybe it will happen one day, but I haven't seen it yet on TV.
All right. Here's one. If Twin Peaks was continued in comic book form, like Buffy, Angel, and The Prisoner, would you be interested? Who do you think should write it or draw it? Well, it should obviously be written by Lynch and Frost. I don't care who draws it, as long as they're good. And I would be interested, yes.
I'm in. Let's have Claire
Yep.
draw it.
Yeah, Claire would draw it. That's true. Claire, get together with David Lynch. You guys get his number right.
You're hired.
Who would win in a fight between Deputy Andy and Mrs. Hayward?
Nice!
Whoa. Mrs.
All
Hayward.
right, we gotta get serious about this, guys.
I just don't think Andy has it in him. Like,
No, he would feel too bad. She's got the advantage because she's
Okay, is Andy allowed to use his gun in this scenario?
He would.
Exactly.
That's...
he could try. Well,
He's a sharpshooter, but she's
Yeah,
a
it's
cyborg.
but she could totally take him out with like the psychological advantage. She'd just like call him names and he'd start crying.
True. This is my hypothesis of how it would go down. She'd be like, Andy, look, I can't walk. Look how sad that is. And then he'd start crying. He'd be blinded by tears, and then she'd run him over.
Yes.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. She's got the cyborg advantage. I don't think Andy's gonna understand.
I don't know. Andy's quick draw skills are starting to get pretty good, though.
Yeah.
You'd definitely give her a run for her money.
Yeah,
or,
but I don't.
or a wheelchair for her money.
He doesn't have the heart for it though.
Mm.
She's a
But does she have the killer spirit?
she's a cold, calculated killer.
She's related to Donna.
She's related to Donna. Enough said.
She might just throw Donna at him.
How else could she have fallen in love with Ben? Ben's also like a cold, calculated guy.
That's
Well,
the
at first.
yeah. That's the only fight request we got. Is there any other ones you guys have thought of? Ooh, I'll just ask Claire right now. I'll be like, oh no, she's away. I'll type her a message and see if she gets back to me. Quick, give us a hypothetical.
I think there's a duck on my patio.
Random.
It happened before. One got caught down there, and I had to rescue it.
Oh.
Did it bite you?
It tried. It was not fun.
It's one of David Lynch's favorite animals, by the way.
Just, they're pretty delightful. They have very jolly cheeks.
One of the
You're
first
picking them up.
one of the first shots of Twin Peaks is a duck in the Hayward.
It's true.
I'm sorry, not the Hayward, in the Packard lands
Brad,
near
just
their
get a,
house.
Brad, just get a pillowcase. Put the duck in the pillowcase.
I don't want to kidnap the duck. Sorry, duck. You don't get to see where we're going.
No, put him in a pillowcase so you don't get hurt, and then just throw him away. Well, not throw him away, but
Throw him away.
I'm just gonna put this duck in a pillowcase, wrap it up, and throw it in the garbage. I don't want it anymore.
I said it wrong.
Oh, by the way, I was at a restaurant last night, and I desperately wanted to take a photo. I saw a guy that looked so much like Frank Silva. It was terrifying.
That'd be awesome.
Except he had like a creepy mustache.
Oh,
Do you-
that's even better. Was he wearing denim?
No, but he was wearing a blue shirt,
Mm.
so it was close.
Do you guys think it'd be fairly easy if they did make a season 3 to recast Frank Silva? Do you think there's a lot of people who look like that? Or is he pretty unique?
There's a one guy that lives in our city that kind of looks like that.
There's a few
that we see
people that
pretty
have.
constantly.
There's a few guys around here that have long, gross, gray hair. But
They could. I think they'd be better off to just do something to replace it. You know, just replace a completely different actor and just do some sort of thing
kind of like
where he doesn't have to look like that anymore.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not really in favor of recasting, except for Donna. But I mean, keep who they replaced her with in Fire Walk with Me. Gotta love Moira Kelly.
Matt's on the phone. Just a sec.
But you know what? Have
Animal
you guys
protection.
ever... Oh, sorry, Brad.
No, I was just saying it was animal protection. We've seen you killing a lot of ducks lately. What's going on? Garbage can is full of them.
Have you guys ever heard of the David Lynch Eye of the Duck thing?
No.
He was talking in an interview, and he said basically like the proportions of a duck are kind of perfect, and like the placement of the eye is kind of like the centerpiece of it. And somebody asked him like what some of the scenes were that were the Eye of the Duck for those films. And for Blue Velvet, it was the In Dreams sequence. I guess you guys haven't watched it yet, so it wouldn't really matter. What about... Have you seen The Elephant Man?
Well, I have, but I don't think they have.
Oh, okay. I won't say which scenes, though, but if you were going to say there was like kind of a centerpiece scene of the entire series, like where it's like kind of the ultimate moment of the show, what would you call that Eye of the Duck scene?
The ultimate...
Sorry, kids. I think I gotta go deal with this duck situation really quick.
the ultimate moment of this show?
Well, kind of like where everything is kind of drawn towards it. It's like the centerpiece of the work.
I would say it's either the Maddie death episode or the Leland death episode.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think the Maddie one probably trumps it a little bit more. It being the big reveal, and that's kind of like what the series was set up around, was the discovery of Laura's killer. So yeah, I have to agree with you on that one.
And I'm back.
You're back.
How did that go?
Well, there wasn't a duck on the patio. There was a duck next to the patio, and there was a cat that seemed to be afraid of the duck. I don't know. It was weird.
It sounds pretty amazing. Whatever's happening there.
I don't understand it.
It's like you have a zoo on your patio.
It's what it seems like.
Interesting.
Okay, Brad, we just got another Shane Edwin Poole just submitted this versus Dick Tremaine versus Cooper.
Wow.
How's that go down?
Well, I think Cooper's going to be getting fighting tips from the Giant. Meanwhile, Dick Tremaine is just going to bitch slap him.
He's a bit of a sissy.
Yeah.
And then he's going to run. So I think when it comes down to it, I think Dick Tremaine wins.
This fight.
It's just kind of one slap and a run, but
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not a fight to the death.
No.
It's a fight for honor and pride, and Dick Tremaine.
Exactly. He wins on points.
Okay.
I think Cooper will get a pine weasel and throw it at Dick Tremaine and win.
Cooper will commune with the animals of the forest, and
That's why Cooper doesn't like birds. He's like a pine weasel animus.
Okay. All right. I'll get to the listener feedback, I guess. And maybe some more versus scenarios will come in while we're waiting.
So season 3 stuff, are you going to save that for the feedback?
Oh, yeah, actually, if you have season 3 stuff, go ahead. You have something you've written, like what you'd like to see?
I'm kind of actually satisfied with there not being a season 3 of the show.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I kind of think they said what they needed to say. It's probably a stronger show for not, going on too long.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way. They don't want it to continue. So you're in the camp that you don't want a season 3.
That's maybe not entirely. Like I think if David Lynch and Mark Frost had a really good story idea that they wanted to do, I would be on board for it. But I wouldn't want them just to do it just because they have fans clamoring for it. Like George Lucas with the prequels of Star Wars. I'd want to avoid that situation. Avoid a Twin Peaks Jar Jar.
Yeah, that's true. Wonder who the Twin Peaks Jar Jar would be.
Joe Cooper.
Okay, let's get some...
All I can picture now is Dale Cooper talking like Jar Jar.
what would that sound like?
Misa wants a cherry pie.
Terrible.
I guess Josie could have like a Jar Jar thing going on.
Yeah, she could.
She could, yeah.
With her special new Black Lodge powers and stuff. In the woodwork of the Great Northern. Just popping up and saying random stuff.
Okay, anyone want to read this feedback?
Alright. Hey gang. Well, what can be said, you guys? This is probably the best TV show I've ever watched, and the podcast really cements the impact this show has had since it's been almost 25 years since the show aired. There are many theories to this series, and the film that shows your perception will be different. What?
Probably should be and a film.
Oh.
There are many theories to the series, and the film that shows your perception will be different from someone else.
Thank you, Morgan. In fact, I have a few theories, more like references, I'd like to share myself, besides the ones I posted on the Facebook group. 1. The line "Let's rock" from the Red Room in episode 3. I think this is a callback from when Cooper was throwing the rocks at the bottles in episode 2. I think the little man from another place says the line to reassure Cooper that the dues he will give... that the clues he will give while in the Red Room sequence will be of major importance, and for Cooper to trust his instincts/dreams more, and that he is already on the right path to solving the murder of Laura when he did the rock throwing thing.
In Fire Walk with Me?
Yeah. In Fire Walk with Me, Dale sees the words "Let's rock" on Chet's vehicle. I think that means that the little man from another place and Cooper will eventually meet up. 2. The significance/symbolism of the Queen of Diamonds card from Season 1 finale. This is kind of horoscope stuff, But some of our greatest philanthropists are the Queen of Diamonds. Are they? In the world of art, some of our greatest poets, painters, and musicians must have contributed their wealth. It is these Queen of Diamond people that have learned the true meaning of value. They are people fit for authority and should have it. The path for the Queen of Diamond is a hard one, so beset with difficulties and obstacles. They are continually sapped of strength as they struggle to overcome one thing after the other.
What are you talking about?
Go Audrey.
Words.
Audrey, I guess, is a Queen of Diamonds, and she has that card, so I guess...
But what does this mean?
I don't know.
Sorry, keep going.
It's
Said it's
horoscope
horoscope
stuff.
but I
But...
don't know. No.
Let me go on. Those born under the Queen of Diamonds are diligent and dependable.
I didn't know you could be born under a playing card. That's why I'm confused.
Yeah.
It's a very questionable hospital.
But you know the star constellation, the Queen of Diamonds?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the horoscopes, so... They are strong of character and determined, but they must guard against hardness, sharpness of tongue, domination, and self-will. They have much to contend with, and much should be forgiven them. The men strive to provide their partners with security, but can be overly sensitive and prone to temper tantrums.
If you call a man a Queen of Diamonds, man, I think he would be.
Yeah.
You may not like it.
Yeah. Women enjoy sharing in their partner's business affairs. Okay. I believe this pretty much describes who Audrey is by using that particular card.
But where did this definition come from? I've never heard a Queen of Diamonds thing in my life.
Me neither.
No, me neither, but maybe we should...
Well, he can...
Oh, he's the three of clubs. You know what that means. He's a snappy dresser. But he's really bad at talking to people.
Oh, Dick Tremaine. He's three of clubs.
Well, he says, and then when he says, well, those are my theories, but I do have just one question for Brad.
And I have many questions for you.
I know of the hatred of ceramic figurines, but would he turn down a ceramic figurine of Bob?
Oh, you hit me in my heart. It would all depend if the ceramic figurine of Bob was made under a Queen of Diamonds or a Four of Spades, because we all know the Four of Spades means a lot.
Anyways, he says...
It's a bad omen, my friend.
He says, I have enjoyed myself with these podcasts and wish you all the best. Jeff Hill.
Thanks,
Jeff.
Please.
You confused us, but you can always explain.
Yes, please explain this playing card horoscope thing on the Facebook.
Yes, because we've never heard of it. Yeah.
Oh.
I can hear your stomach growling.
Yeah.
It's been growling the whole time.
That's alright. Okay.
By the way, I can totally see people at the club saying, hey, what's your card?
Yeah, that's true. What's your card?
Oh no, are you a magician?
Michael, you want to take this one, maybe?
Sure. Paul Cliff emails, love the podcast. Great to begin with and noticeably improved as it's going along. Anyway, a few questions that relate to Twin Peaks as a series and not episode specific. 1. I feel that because of the general negative view of Series 2 overall, the first few episodes of the second series are severely overlooked. I'd almost go as far as saying the first 4 or 5 episodes 8 through 13 match or are even better than a lot of the first season. What are your thoughts on the second season and how it tends to be perceived as substandard overall?
There's a lot of numbers in that question.
Do you want to address them one by one right now, or do you want me to just read it all and then talk about it?
We'll do it as we go. I think we've talked about this, but it's pretty obvious with Evelyn Marsh and General what's his face? So.
General Robert E. Horn.
Yes, that's it.
The series definitely goes off the rails for a bit.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen in the first season, so that would be why the second season is perceived as substandard, because all the substandard stuff is within the second season.
But yeah, some of the best moments of the series, I think, do take place in the second season.
Oh, I agree, yeah.
I also agree that some of the weaker moments are during the weaker parts of the season, and the stronger parts are in the stronger parts.
Yeah, season 1's more even and more... yeah, I know you're being sarcastic, but season 1...
But I agree with you. I agree with your sarcasm.
Season 1 is more even, and season 2 is up and down. But the up is really up. Okay, go on.
I meant as the series as a whole, not the British series of season.
Oh, yeah.
Hence the confusion. Okay, so number 2. Having seen all there is to see now, what are your favorite scenes from the series? from the entire show, I guess.
Maddie's death, Leland's death, anything in the Black Lodge.
I have to say, of course, any scene with Bob, the Dick Tremaine trying to pay for Lucy's abortion. That was amazing. Hands down, maybe my favorite scene overall.
Yeah, I'm pretty much similar to Matt.
Okay.
Stuff related to Black Lodge. As well, some of the cool things were at the end with what Wyndham Earl did.
Mm-hmm.
I thought those were cool scenes, like finding the dead bodies and stuff.
From the first half of the TV show, I'd say pretty much every scene with Audrey is one of my favorites. She's hilarious. And I think Cooper getting to know the townspeople and kind of moments when he kind of learns more about them and their lives and how they're interconnected with each other. I find that really funny, too.
You have another versus that just came in on Facebook.
Oh, do we? What is it?
Evelyn Marsh versus a dentist.
A dentist?
Because her teeth.
Aww, the
Are we
dentist.
talking about the dentist from Marathon Man, who's like an ex-Nazi who likes to torture people?
Just any dentist.
The dentist was.
I think it's really a question of a dentist versus the gum disease gingivitis, as exemplified by Evelyn Marsh.
Yeah. In which case, I don't know, do dentists have an easy time with that? Or is that pretty tough?
Well, I think this is an extreme case.
She also.
I think the dentist might get worn out.
she's gonna need some whitener there.
If it's just one dentist taking care of all of Evelyn Marsh's mouth, I think Evelyn Marsh's mouth might win.
I think so.
I wonder what she looks like now.
No.
Has anybody bothered looking her up?
No.
Let's look her up.
Well, okay.
Number 3.
You can continue, and I'll look her up.
Number 3. What's next from the Twin Peaks podcast? Perhaps a run through Lynch's back catalog of films? Or perhaps a whole new series to cover something like Deadwood, Lost, or X-Files would work great with your dynamic, in my opinion.
The X-Files one will be done by Brad and some other people.
I'm very excited for that.
I think we're going to do some films. I'm not sure if we'll do all of them.
We'll see how.
You're going to do the Dual Spires episode of
Yeah.
Psych, the Twin Peaks homage.
Blue Velvet has been sitting on my shelf, still wrapped in plastic.
That's the first one we're doing.
And
Nice.
I still stand next to what we said on the Breaking Bad podcast, that RoboCops 1 and 2 are prime Twin Peaks podcast material. You want me to do the concluding statements from
Sure.
Paul's? Okay. Then Paul concludes, anyway, love the podcast, guys. Passed many an hour on my daily commute to work here in rainy Scotland. Thanks.
Cool.
I guess I should have had a Scottish accent through all of that. Oh well. Opportunity missed.
Oh, well.
There's shots of her in bathing suits, but that's about all we've seen.
Yeah, I don't see anything recent, unless she looks completely different now.
I think she's retired from acting.
Wonder
She was on Baywatch?
What?
That's what IMDb says.
What? Matt, go back to that IMDb page. Oh, so she was.
95.
Look at that.
Well, I guess we just canceled our Baywatch podcast.
All right, I'll take this one.
I wanted to know about the character arc of Mitch, though. Oh, opportunity missed.
We're still doing Baywatch nights.
Okay, good.
Of course.
That podcast will be big in Germany because Germans
Love
David Hasselhoff. Thank you, Norm Macdonald.
Daniel Norkin says, I guess I'm a bit late to the party, but I just wanted to say you guys socked my fucking rocks off. A joke there, but I really thought you made...
Sorry, I just love that he identified it as a joke.
That's the joke.
Right there, made one. Gotcha.
But I really thought you made watching Twin Peaks highly entertaining. I'm following it now. Tonight I'll be wrapping up the series for the third time, but I'll continue to be behind while I hurry and read those ridiculous-looking tie-in books. I'm hoping they won't be as bad as the Lost-inspired catastrophe that was Bad Twin, but if you reviewed it, I'm right behind you.
Bad Twin?
Never heard of it.
No.
Didn't actually read it. Yeah. Oof.
No. So here I am finishing up my third go-round, and I've definitely got more out of this time, having each episode followed the next day by hearing what you four had to say about it. There are so many things to talk about, and I wish I'd been there during the recording process, but I noticed you finished about a year ago. No, we didn't. More or less. And wondered if there was still time to get in a word. Yes, there is. For what we felt was going to be in, or should have been in, the fabled third season. I'm not into fanfic, per se, But I think that kind of discussion is vital to closing out an already perfect series of podcasts you guys put out there for now, or for us. If Facebook is right and you only have 57 followers, that's ludicrous. I think.
Wait, is he sending a message from the past or something? What's happening?
I think he's looking at the Twin Peaks fan page that Michael made.
I created a community page so that people could like your show. I think you're up to 71 likes by this morning. So,
but that's more of just a place for announcements and stuff.
Yeah.
The discussion group has a few hundred. So I think I sent him a link to that. I honestly expected hundreds more. There are, but in time, your followers will grow and new listeners will discover you, much like I did. Of the maybe half dozen podcasts I still listen to, yours is the only one I took the time to write in about and thank just for making it. It was that good.
Yay!
Oh, thanks, man. Oh, we got to meet Illyrio, me and Mel, a week or two ago. And he was saying, I told him how many downloads we get, and he said that's more than they get. I was very
we won!
I was like, we get roughly 1,000 per episode, like between 1,000 and 1,500. And he said, that's more than we get. And I was like, really? But I guess maybe it's just the people who listen to theirs like to talk more, and they like to discuss things more. Because their group is way more active with feedback and such.
We have a more elite clientele. I think that's really what it comes down to. A lot of people listen to us, they don't feel the need to talk about it because we've covered everything. What's there to say?
We do such
after Morgan Freeman has come down on something, there's no debate after that.
It's the final word. Yes.
The important thing is we won.
So anyway, back to the email. So anyways, please let me know if we can expect any more shows going forward. Yes. At the very least, you need to do a retrospective. We are. And include at least a few ideas on how you think it should have ended. Dan from Altadena, California. Thanks, Dan. That was a nice email. All right. Here's a very short one. You can just read that one, Mel.
Hello all, I've just recently discovered Twin Peaks and I listened along with this excellent podcast as I watched the show. Thanks for helping me on this journey, guys. So I asked you this question on Twitter, but I thought I'd email it in just to make sure you got it. If Twin Peaks was continued in comic book form...
Oh, we answered that one already.
Yes, we already answered this question.
Yes.
Yes. Thanks again, Aiden M. Mohan, or Mohan.
Thanks. This one's from Andy Herbert. Herbert, I don't know. Hey Matt, Mel, Brad, Caitlin. Because I never heard it mentioned on the podcast, I thought I'd point out that one of the last scenes in the final episode, where Heidi starts work in the diner, closely mirrors a similar scene in the pilot. Maybe this suggests that the town is back to normal, or it could just reflect Lynch's interest in Buddhism, which regards time as cyclical. Anyways, I love the podcast, and I hope you consider rehashing some of Lynch's movies in the near future. All the best, Andy. I think we mentioned the Heidi thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
And given that the bank explodes, I'm not entirely sure that Twin Peaks is back to normal again right afterwards.
Yeah. The big changes coming for Twin Peaks, I think.
After apparently the kind and lovable Doc Hayward apparently murders Benjamin Horne in his house. Yeah, you think that something new is happening.
I'd say so.
Did you guys want to go into any of like the crazy theory stuff that we have about the show? The series?
We can if you have any, but I just want to finish out feedback first.
Cool.
Oh, and Claire also sent us Mr. Pinkle versus Ernie.
Who was Mr. Pinkle again?
He's the guy that had the pine weasel at the end. He also
Squiggy.
Yeah, he had like the fake equipment to get Leo Johnson like up out of bed and into the wheelchair and
I think that may be what chooses it because Pinkle's got tack. Mm-hmm. Ernie's got cowardice.
and he understands how to launder money, for the Colombians and things. Yeah, and the man with the plan. See,
he might be.
I don't know what you're doing, but it sounds very racist.
I'm being Ernie. Ernie was like he was like a British actor pretending to be an American, right?
He was a British actor playing New Yorker by Georgia.
Exactly. I'm an American pretending to be the British person pretending to be a New Yorker by Georgia.
So who wins? Ernie? Pinkle. Or Pinkleton, rather? Pinkle? All right.
Pinkle's got mad pine weasel capturing skills, so he's got plenty of artillery to use.
He's got all the tech. He's got all the tech. But Arnie does have prison know-how.
All right.
He can avoid a shiv, but I don't know.
He could sell him out to the feds. There's possibilities there.
Caitlin, you want to grab this one? It's from Sean Anderson.
I decided to poke around on iTunes and see what they had to offer and stumbled upon your most excellent show. Sad to say, I'm a bit of a latecomer to this, but I am loving every minute of it. I am listening to about 2 to 3 shows a night. I own a comic book store and work a graveyard shift as a security officer, so my night gig affords me a bit of time to listen to the show. Thanks so much for putting the time and effort into doing this. I am a longtime lover of Twin Peaks. I watched the show when it originally aired and loved what I caught, but didn't get to see all the episodes until the VHS box set came out in 1996 or 97. Since then, I have upgraded to the full DVD set and have sat through the show about 5 times, each time I introduced friends to it, similar to the way you guys have been watching it. Listening to your show has made me want to rewatch it again, as I have another couple of friends that have never seen it. I want to have my friends watch this show, then listen to your podcast in between each episode, because I like the way your show is structured. I wish I had caught onto this earlier, because I would have been very active messaging with each passing episode. What can you do? Again, thanks so much. Such a good job was done here. I have about 10 episodes or so left. I may have to listen from the beginning again with my friends, because it's just that good. Sean.
Thanks,
Oh,
Sean.
I'm getting all kinds of nice compliments.
Yeah.
Oh, shucks, guys. Oh, shucks.
Yeah.
Here's more questions that I didn't notice that Michael sent me.
Yeah, they were questions that were submitted on the Facebook community page.
Okay, what does everyone theorize about the immediate events following Bob Dale in the bathroom? Well, I like what the rumor was that was supposed to happen, where he goes and tries to kill Annie.
The screenplay seemed to kind of indicate that was the direction.
I'm satisfied with that, and I hope he succeeds. What would you like Bob's new plans to be?
Real estate.
Real estate. He buys Dead Dog Farm.
Global domination.
He's got to diversify.
Yes.
I like to see Bob gain the claw hand, and he has a cat and tries to take over the world. Dr. Evil style.
Dr. Claw, yes. What would you all have liked to see happen just with some of the more sideline characters like Sarah Palmer and Shelley had the show continued? Sarah Palmer, I would have loved to get into more of her family history, because apparently they're all witches or something.
That would have been cool.
It would have been cool to see flashbacks, and it's Cheryl Lee as her ancestors. Also, I heard a rumor that she was going to come back too as her long lost cousin, a redheaded version of herself.
Wasn't she going to play Maddie's mother or something?
I'm not sure. Who? Sarah? Sarah Palmer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool though if there was flashbacks to pioneer time Twin Peaks when people were just arriving, and you get the early Sarah ancestors or the Palmer ancestors or whatever.
Yeah, I always thought that would have been a much more likely way to continue Twin Peaks as a prequel. Yeah. Especially if you could see the foundation of the Bookhouse Boys and their fight against the evil in the woods. That would be more interesting than just trying to speculate later on what happens.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Shelley, I don't know about Shelley. I have no idea what you could do with her, but I hope they...
Well, you could do everything with Shelley.
Yeah.
Okay, her and Bobby would have to break up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then she becomes a badass, awesome, independent woman. Maybe she... I don't know. It would be awesome. It would be awesome.
She moves to New York, becomes a socialite, and works with Buffy the Vampire Slayer to fight evil there.
Sure.
She disappears for a few episodes.
That's what they could have done in Ringer, but they missed out.
She disappears for a few episodes, comes back, and ends up taking over the Great Northern. And then Audrey has to fight to get it back, because of course Ben is in the hospital from his injuries.
Yes. And Jonas Schwartz says, why do you think it's been such a bitterly contentious and unsuccessful road to put the Fire Walk With Me deleted scenes out on DVD when there's clearly a market for it, given
There's not a market for it.
Given the slew of recent reissues of it in Laura's Diary? You don't think there's market for it?
No.
No?
I wish there was, but yeah, they've been putting out the reissue of the book and everything, but that's been hard to come by. I just DVDs, Blu-rays aren't selling well overall. The trend has gone down.
Yeah.
It's hard to make money off these things. It takes a lot of work to put all that stuff together. So I think it's just a business.
I think it only is going to take like $100,000 to David Lynch and his production team to do the post-production work on it, and so I kind of wonder if maybe a Kickstarter thing might not be a good idea, so that hardcore fans.
But that's not
Could
the
fund
problem. It's not the $100,000 to get it done. It's the overhead of all those discs that aren't going to end up losing money when they can't sell them.
Yeah, how are we going to get our deleted scenes from now on when physical media is gone?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, on iTunes, they've had certain special features available, like with Game of Thrones Season 1. Some of the stuff that was on the disc, they've kind of just had available for free on iTunes to accompany it. That might be a solution, but
They're going to
not
start
sure.
adding special features on Netflix streaming.
It's true they've already started to make the subtitle features a little bit more intuitive and better to work with.
That's good. Here's a long one. Caitlin, speed. You want to speed read it, or
Yeah, sure.
not so fast that we can't understand it, but
Of course. First off, we as fans need to realize that despite how we initially felt about the cancellation of the show, we all got something pretty cool out of this whole experience. Think of it like a trip to One-Eyed Jack's. We took a risk on the show and pooled our love for it at the tables. We won some with Laura's story, a hugely emotional journey. We lost some with James' story, fuck you, James, that doubled down and bit all in the Black Lodge just before the suits at ABC kicked us out before we had time to catch in on the third season.
great metaphor.
And nobody in our group tried to bang their children while we were there, so that's, good.
What?
As far as bringing back the show back, I don't think that they ever meant to live up to Laura's ominous last words in Beyond Life and Death about 25 years later and all that, but there's still so much there to mind that it's all hard to let it go. Given the choice, who wouldn't want one more season? I'd love to hear what people think might have happened with that, but for every idea out there, there's bound to be others that think it's terrible. How could they make everyone happy? It's possible to conclude the story over 2 decades after the fact. What would actually work nowadays, realistically speaking? Some of the actors don't talk, some got fat, some stopped acting. Some have such big careers now it'd be too expensive to sign them on. The list of cons is endless. This brings to mind the question, why didn't Mark Frost just write a novel or a series of novels finishing the series in a way that would be more in keeping with the show's mythology and sentiment? He's still writing, isn't he? Why not do it today? By not outsourcing someone less familiar with the grand design of Twin Peaks, who better to write a third, fourth season book from than the guy who wrote Twin Peaks? I have my own ideas on the resolution with Cooper Bob, but you have to think within the established parameters the show was creating if you want to resolve that arc in a satisfying way. For instance, to me, it would seem in Twin Peaks evil can't just be killed, like energy it can only be transformed. I believe that energy is passed to the owls or electric wire, and onto the forest, and throughout the town through those vessels. In that light, I think that the only way to beat Bob and survive him would be to truly confront Bob and forgive him, to dissolve that dark energy at its core and reorganize it in the form of acceptance. Leyland chose not to confront Bob until it was too late, fighting with Bob for years, and he'd become too weak to resist. Similarly, a possessed Cooper would run around town as both the agent and the villain, trying to solve a new wave of deaths that Bob was committing. It wouldn't be until Cooper would accept that Bob was a part of him and let go of the hate Bob fed from, let go of Caroline, of Earl, of everything that holding him back, that Bob would be expelled, finally giving us back the Cooper we'd been missing. By defeating Bob, Cooper would have a new purpose, and he'd be able to do all the things he'd neglected before. He would find Audrey and be with her. He would track down Hawk and Truman and show them ridiculous things he had learned in, I don't know, Tibet, the jungle maybe, who really cares? But as a team, they would figure out a game plan and have Andy explain the map to them, and down the rabbit hole they'd go.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I'm sure they thought of every angle. I'm sure Frost considered a book, but it just didn't pan out. For whatever reason, the studio decided to leave those characters, that story, and that town back in the 90s where perhaps it belonged. For better or for worse, I'm glad with what we got. Now I'm going to end this email in a way I think Lynch would appreciate, by a way of ridiculously complicated metaphor that's both heartfelt and repulsive. It's self-centering on a furlong dead baby joke.
What?
Okay, enjoy. Dead baby joke. Who doesn't love one of those? On April 8th, 1990, proud parents Mark Frost and David Lynch brought a baby into the world. A baby that never should have survived that first night, let alone be graced with a second birth. But through some miracle, it pulled through. Week after week, America fell in love, even though it's kind of frightened some of us, but once we got used to it, it was fine. David wanted to call it Northwest Passage, but Mark said it was too similar to his ex, so they changed it to Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks was properly fed and well-loved, but Mark and Dave had their own issues sometime after the first year, and dealing with a bout of postpartum depression, they left it with a never-ending parade of family relatives. Mark and Dave went on to start new families, making new babies and causing strife back at home. Confused, and with a terrible babysitter from hell, Diane Keaton, things really lost control. Twin Peaks entered the terrible twos, kicking and screaming, often throwing messy plot lines around the house and terrorizing the family cat. all of which caused havoc with the family schedule, so nobody knew when to tune in. Living in squalor and not getting the nourishing reviews any new show needs, Twin Peaks fell gravely ill. Not knowing what to do, Diane called the bio parents, who after many weeks of neglect came rushing to the children's ward at ABC. Diagnosed with fatigue and a rare form of stupid plotting, it wasn't looking good. Mark and David did everything they could by ensuring doctors gave it the craziest, most beautiful, artistic cliffhanger of all, hoping that would fix things, but it was too late. Little Twin Peaks died on June 10th.
Oh, God. That is the best thing I've ever heard. Perfect metaphor. Oh, God.
Rest in peace.
That was great. Rest in peace.
Nice.
Thanks, Dan. Dan Norkin.
We got another versus.
Who is it?
Oh, wait, we got a couple here. Hold on. Second season Nadine versus Bob.
Oh.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Oh.
This is going to hurt my heart.
That's really hard to say. Okay, wait. Bob has to be possessing someone. Who's he possessing at this point?
Maybe he's possessing Nadine.
She's just punching herself.
She throws herself 40 feet into the air.
The only thing strong enough to penetrate her shell is Nadine herself.
I feel like in the end they could only they would have to work together. I think Bob would be like, you know what? I respect you and your skills. Let's work together.
And then they destroy everyone else. Okay, that's how that goes. Senior Drool Cup versus Mayor Milford.
Mayor Milford does have a shotgun.
Oh, yes.
But Drool Cup does have gum.
I'm gonna have to give it to Mayor Milford because he's got the gun and he moves faster.
Yeah.
But
as much as I want to give it to Drool Cup, I don't think he's got the fight in him.
I think Drool Cup could metamorphosize into a giant, though.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. It's possible that Senior Drool Cup is like, a spirit, so...
You wouldn't like to see Drool Cup when he's angry.
No, he turns into a giant. Alright.
Even then, I feel like that giant couldn't take a shotgun blast. But I'd like to watch it.
Okay. Alright. Here's another email. My name is Jonah and I live in Sweden. I've been a huge Twin Peaks fan ever since the show first aired back in the 90s. Recently stumbled over your podcast and have enjoyed it greatly. I just listened to episode 18, so I'm more than halfway through the viewing of the series, and you guys are doing such an awesome job. I've seen the entire series at least 4 times now, but your comments and discussions make me realize things that have completely slipped under my radar. Anyways, my wife has family in the States, Northern Washington to be more precise, and when our oldest daughter turned 6 a couple months ago, her grandmother, my wife's mother, decided to take her to see her aunt in America. One of the highlights of my daughter's trip over the pond was when she, her grandmother, and her aunt all stayed at the Salish Spa and Lodge in Snoqualmie, the actual location used for the exterior shots of the Great Northern. As you can imagine, I nearly died from jealousy. Anyways, they took some really cool photos, and I'm including one in this email. I just love how it's so atmospheric. The mist coming off the waterfall, that always seems to kind of half-shroud the hotel. Awesome stuff. One weird thing, though. Knowing what a big fan of the series I am, my mother-in-law wanted to buy me some sort of souvenir. She didn't find any. The hotel had a huge souvenir store, but none of it was Twin Peaks related. She asked the staff and basically got the answer, and yes, I'm paraphrasing here. Oh no, that was such a long time ago, nobody cares about that. I think that is just bad business sense. This show still has a huge following. There's an annual Twin Peaks festival, which includes a tour to the shooting locations. For the Salish Spa and Lodge to keep some Twin Peaks merch in stock would seem both logical and profitable. Anywho, time to wrap things up. Keep up the good work, you guys, and I'll keep listening. Hope you enjoy the pic of the Great Northern, and never mind the cranes and stuff on the opposite side of the waterfall. Cheers. Jonah from Sweden. Thanks, Jonah. We've got 2 left. Oh, this one is very short. I'm a woodcutting artist from Laurel Canyon. I recently carved a woodcut inspired by filmmaker David Lynch. I thought you might be interested. Here's a link to my blog.
Click
Advertisement.
That's a plug.
That's a plug, yes.
The hell.
Oh,
Is the woodwork as good as he's saying it
it's a
is?
scary woodcut. He's very wrinkly.
Send a link. Time for us to review it. If he's going to send us just a plug, we're going to give him a harsh review.
There you go.
Goofy David Lynch.
Yeah, okay.
I like a good woodcut.
Does he have other wood cuttings?
I don't know.
Welcome to the woodcutting cast.
Brad, it's time to read.
All you hear.
Oh,
Claire.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the baby. He's done a woodcutting of a baby, and it's disgusting looking.
He's in woodcut. Ah!
It just
Ugh.
it just reminds me, like, woodcuts, yeah, they remind you of the Middle Ages, and the Middle Ages were not a pleasant time, so...
For art.
For art.
Really?
It was a scary time, for all.
Now, a woodcut of Bob, though, in the Middle Ages might be pretty awesome.
Oh, that'd be scary.
Do it up. All right, Brad.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at woodcuttings. Peaky Peekers, we meet once again. I wasn't sure what to write for this. I wasn't sure what to write for this to give feedback on the entire series. That's a strange sentence. As you guys can guess from my previous guest spots and drawings that I post on the Facebook group, the show had a huge influence on me, particularly creatively. The show has its ups and downs, but I love the whole thing. Yes. Even that damn panto horse disguise. Best scene. That goes on my list of best scenes, by the way.
Agreed.
So instead, I'll do a switcheroo and give you guys feedback on the podcast instead.
Oh, no.
Evil chuckle. Hope it's harsh. Hope it's harsh and cruel. One of us is going to be crying by the end of it.
Okay,
All right.
guaranteed.
Like others have mentioned already, re-experiencing the show with you guys, particularly Brad and Caitlin, and the new...
Why
and
particularly
other
Brad and Caitlin?
particularly us. Forget you, riffraff. And the other new viewers has made me fall in love with it all over again. You have always kept discussion light, brisk, enjoyable, and made me laugh more than once during each episode. That's only because Matt cuts out all the long, awkward crap.
We wouldn't be able to get through listening to it, yeah.
It would have been very easy to make it much more analytical, which would have been terrible, but I'm glad that you went with the direction you did. You all have such great chemistry despite the variations in your personality that make it a pleasure to listen to. Please say that you will review the films after this. I'm sorry, I said after this. What she says is after RHIS, questionable. Twin Peaks podcast must never die. Like a 2-year-old baby Twin Peaks. I have to give big props to Matt and Mel for editing too, and the perfect song choices at the end for their awesome participation in Carney Cast.
Props
That's
to
another plug.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys got your mention, so I guess it's okay. Props to Brad for composing the world's only song about the legend that is Dick Tremaine. And props to Caitlin for being my name twin. Right, Matt?
I'm sorry. I think I got over that near the end.
You did.
So in summary, I love the show, I love the podcast, I love you guys, and I love Dick Tremaine, though not necessarily in that order. Till next time, hang loose, hoolies.
Thanks, Claire.
Nah.
Love ya. Oh, I should have said thanks, Caitlin.
Thanks, Caitlin.
All right, that's all our feedback.
The hero from Twin Peaks, the man they call Tremaine.
Oh my gosh, can't even compare Tremaine to Jane. That's wrong.
Jane wins.
Yeah, I'll be in my bunk. So, Michael, did you have any more things you wanted to go into at all, or?
Well, I know there's a lot of theories about Twin Peaks that are kind of cool. I think one is kind of like the Lost theory, where there's kind of a convoluted long con going on, where some of the lodge entities are trying to get a hold of an FBI agent to possess, so that they have an easier time, doing their shenanigans and perpetrating it across the country.
Wait, what? Why do evil entities need the help of the FBI? They have magical powers.
Yeah, but it's true. Like, if they possess Leland, they're possessing a lawyer. If they're possessing Laura Palmer, they're possessing a homecoming queen.
You think
they're
they're
possessing
trying to-
Cooper, though? They're possessing somebody who has authority to go anywhere in the country and basically take over.
Do you think they're trying to make their way to the president?
It could be pretty funny if they were. Yes, George Bush, we're coming.
That's where he came from.
But, yeah, I mean, that's the kind of cool thing about Twin Peaks, though, is that there are all these theories, and we each have, like, our own kind of interpretations about it. And so that's the fun thing. I mean, if people wanted to specifically discuss it, that'd be cool. But just talking about it amongst ourselves, what other people think, it's not quite as interesting. I go into some theories on my own blog, 35 Years of David Lynch.
That counts as your plug.
Yes. But generally speaking, I never thought the best thing about Twin Peaks are the little convoluted mysteries. That is a fun part of it, but the best part of Twin Peaks is really the atmosphere, the environment, the people that you're experiencing the show with, like the different characters you're going through, a lot of the actors that got involved, and
yeah, I would agree with that. Like, if there's one thing I think of for the series, and if there's one thing I like the best, then it's atmosphere for me.
Yeah, it's a beautiful dream world to go into.
Yeah.
Sorry, we have another versus.
Oh, okay.
Dick Tremaine versus Bob.
Oh.
Why do they keep trying to hurt my heart?
Yeah.
Come on, it's Bob.
I like.
Dick Tremaine would try to do his bitch slap, and he would get turned into a doorknob.
We don't have to talk about this actual fight, but I like this one by Harold. Del Mibbler versus Senior Drool Cup, the match we've been waiting for and waiting.
Nibbler, he's the guy at the bank, right?
Yeah, Mibbler. Yeah, Del Mibbler.
You would wait forever.
All right, so I think we're good then. We've been recording long enough. You have one other thing you can plug, Michael.
This is my last guest spot on episode 28 of your show with Twin Peaks. I started up my own intro cast, very much in the style of yours here on Twin Peaks, called Breaking Bad Podcast. Mm-hmm. And recently we had Matt and Mel come on as our guests for the season 1 finale. So it
was a lot of fun. Yep. Good conversation.
But yeah, Breaking Bad's a great show, and I recommend it highly.
Brad?
You can catch me on the Ramjack podcast, where we have fun and shenanigans, and occasionally get around to watching Mr. Belvedere and Saved by the Bell. It's been a while, but it's coming. We're getting back to it.
Okay.
Is Charles in Charge fully behind you, or does it sometimes come up?
Oh, no. We did the one and only season of Charles in Charge that actually exists.
But it still comes up in your fanfic.
It does come up. It does. we have a friend that has been sending us epically epic fan fiction of Saved by the Bell / Mr. Belvedere / everything in the world, and it's awesome.
So I guess that's it. Thanks everyone for listening, and I think next episode
wait, there's another matchup. Lana versus Evelyn in a battle over who is more how do you say that word?
Beguiling. Lana more beguiling.
Yes.
Yeah. She doesn't have the gum disease known as gingivitis.
No.
Yes.
She's got her witchery.
Lana wins
her witch powers
because she's a witch.
Yeah.
She was able to beat Mayor Milford with a shotgun with her bewitching power.
Yes, that too.
There you go. She wins.
All right. So next time I think we're probably going to do the Psych parody episode, and that's probably going to be our last Twin Peaks related thing that we do. And
that's going to be with
thank God.
my co-host of the Breaking Bad podcast, Jeremy, right?
Yeah, Jeremy Corp is going to come on for that one. And he already said that he hates the episode. He just wants to come on with us.
This should be interesting.
Although, I am writing an article to help give some context, and I'm going to recommend a couple of Psych episodes you can watch beforehand to get a better context for it. Because there are some characters and stuff in there that are recurring, and so if you see them beforehand, I think it'll make a difference.
Caitlin's going to be our guide because she likes that show and she's seen it all. So.
Excellent show.
We have another one.
There's another one.
Yes, that's great.
Jacoby's 3D eyeglasses versus Donna / Laura's shades.
I'm going to say Donna / Laura's shades because the spirit of Laura seems to inhabit them.
But in how many dimensions is that spirit?
To view the spirit properly, you probably would need Jacoby's shades. And Jacoby's shades did actually cross through the threshold into Fringe, J.J. Abrams' TV show.
It can cross over like TV show continuities. Naked
magical dimension shades versus shades that Donna wore that made her a bitch.
Okay, I guess Jacoby wins.
Those are pretty powerful shades, though.
Yes.
Let's just sit here all day and wait for the verses to come.
I win.
Welcome to the Versus podcast.
Okay, so I think we're done now. And we'll see everyone next time, probably in a month or so.
We're so lazy.
Okay, bye. Bye, all.
Bye.
Farewell.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on twitter.com/TwinPeaksCast. Search for the Twin Peaks Podcast group on Facebook. And visit us on twinpeakspodcast.blogspot.com. Email your feedback to twinpeakspodcast@gmail.com.
Here's a tune for you guys. Okay. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.